Hey guys, we are finally back with some Diablo 4 content. It's been actually a while, but now we are very close to Season 7 getting released. And today I want to show you 3 rogue builds that I believe will dominate the next season. So for all rogue enjoyers out there, this will be a quite interesting video, I think. So yeah, we will have the Season of Witchcraft. I really liked theory crafting and making my builds with these different witchcrafts. It was actually quite a lot of fun, also with the jewels. So I hope that it will stay as fun as it was during this process. And also I hope that we will have a very nice balance this time, because last season, of course, we had the Spiritborn class, which was overtuned with some with many bugs. And yeah, I just hope for the best that this season we will have classes that are kind of balanced and very close to each other, and we can just at least push for pit 100s with most builds. But we will see if this will work. So before I start showing you off all of the builds here, I want to mention that you guys should visit my Mobilytics page after this video. So if you want to get an overview over all of my builds, and I will also add more builds in the next days. I hope I can make it until Tuesday when the season launches. So you will find all of my updated builds at my Mobilytics site. I will link it down in the description or under the comment section as usual. So today I will also only give you like a sneak preview of the builds, but there you can just open them up by yourself and take a look by yourself, okay? So I plan to do this every season now, so at the start of each season I want to have at least 4 to 5 rogue builds which are viable and updated, so you guys can just start off right at the beginning and don't have to wait for me dropping some new YouTube videos with the video guides. So yeah, check out my Mobilytics, would be cool. So now we can just start with the first build, and this is Rain of Arrows Rogue. I already have uploaded the video like 1 or 2 months ago during the PTR of Season 7, and this build is just very crazy. It got nerfed a bit, but only a little bit, so only by like 20%, maybe 30%. So they nerfed like an aspect, which was very powerful, but is still very good. And they also nerfed the scaling of Rain of Arrows, because Rain of Arrows now will scale also with your damage to distant enemies. Once you have reached rank 5 with this ultimate, it will get this additional damage scaling mechanic. So I can already say Season 7 will be the season of ultimate skills, because all ultimate skills were buffed in this latest Season 7 patch update. And Rain of Arrows is one of the strongest under all of these skills, because it scales with damage to distant enemies. And this is a very valid damage source that we can get from many sources. So we have like tempers on our items, on our weapons. We have some in the Paragon. We have the new Word of Hakan. So the Rain of Arrows amulet also got reworked, and also now also has an inherent bonus to damage to distant enemies as well. So in the end game you will reach something about 1500 to 1700% damage to distant enemies. And this is why you can see here that I'm dealing, you maybe saw it right now, I'm dealing between 5 to 7 or 8, even 9 trillion damage, okay? So the damage is just insane. It will go down by a bit, like I mentioned, by 20 to 30%, I believe. But it will still deal trillions of damage. So here I was running a pit tier 125 in about 3 minutes. So I think this will be still pretty manageable in the live game. And yeah, this is right now the contender for the best rogue build, I would say, just because the scaling is so crazy. The next rogue build that I will show you is also very good and also has potential to be the best rogue build. But for now, if I would have to make a bet with a gun at my head or something, then I would say I probably believe that Rain of Arrows Rogue will be dominating the rogue builds in the next season, just because of its very crazy damage. So here the only problem is it's a little bit clunky to play. You need to... So the setup I was playing here, I will update it already for the next season, because I did not like it very much. It's like a piano build. You have to push many buttons in the right order. I want to make it a little bit more easy, so we will also play with basic skills in order to stack up precision stacks and deal more damage. But it's a bit clunky, just keep that in mind. So if you are not into, if you just want to chill and play a very simple build, maybe this is not for you. But damage-wise, it's just insane, and also crazy AoE area of effect, AoE damage, as you can imagine. Rain of Arrows is just filling the entire screen with arrows. So yeah, very powerful build. I will also make hopefully a video guide for it separately. But yeah, this is like the first build. So the second one, here I'm showing you my, like the build I'm most proud of in the last season, which is Overpower Flurry, which I theory crafted also some months ago. But here I just want to show an example of how the Deathtrap Rogue will look like, because the Deathtrap Rogue and Flurry Rogue are very similar actually in their playstyle. So here we were spamming Deathtrap and Flurry was the main damage dealer. We just used Deathtrap as a trigger for another mechanic which makes Flurry overpowers or to overpower every time. But this time, the Deathtrap will deal the damage. So we will play Deathtrap, pure Deathtrap build. But I just wanted to show you some gameplay here as well. And it plays like very similarly to Overpower Flurry. And with Deathtrap, we also will overpower next season. So Overpower Flurry kind of transforms into Overpower Deathtrap in Season 7. It will deal way more damage, so this is also very close to the trillion range. So maybe we will also deal more than 1 trillion damage or 1 trillion DPS, we will see. It should be very close, according to my calculations at least. So yeah, it's just like the next step of Overpower Flurry Rogue. I can also show you why this is possible. So we will have Scoundrel's Leather. Actually, here it's not updated, so I will show you actually in my mobility expander here. So here you have Efficient Rogue, OP Trapper, and here you can see that Scoundrel's Leather got reworked a bit. So now your trap and grenade skills are also considered core skills. So Deathtrap is now a core skill once you put on these Scoundrel's Leather unique chestplate, and this opens up a lot of possibilities, and this also makes it possible that we can now use Banished Lord's Talisman to make our Deathtraps also overpower. So yeah, this is very similar to OP Flurry, as I mentioned. Now we just have to push, we just have to spam our Deathtrap. We don't need any more core skills. So this is even more easy. It deals more damage. It's like less stress, less button spamming, and just very easy to play, and will be very powerful as well. So I think I will try to transition to this build as fast as possible. I really want to try out this new Overpowered Deathtrap build. So yeah, I call it OP Trapper, Overpower Trapper. And yeah, the only problem is here it has some very strict gear requirements, just as Overpower Flurry. You need a Shaco, you need some Beastful Boots with nearly perfect maximum resource greater FX and stuff like that. But I actually have achieved to also build a starter version which has like 0 mythic uniques, so you don't have a single mythic unique in here. And this should also work, at least according to my theory crafting, it should also work in a very similar way as the mythic variant, and will also deal tons of damage and overpower with every Deathtrap basically. So check out my planners here with the starter version. I think this will be very good, but I will also make a video update once I'm reaching this point here. So I would say these two builds that I just showed you, 1 second, that I have showed you already here, are like already the 2 strongest rogue builds probably in the next season. Just like I mentioned, it's the season of the new ultimate skills. We also have some nice ultimate aspects, like here aspect of Furor, which got nerfed by the way. But there's also another rogue build, which is Twisting Blades Rogue, but I will make a separate video for that, hopefully tomorrow or at Tuesday, because I think this will be my rogue starter. So I want to make a separate video for that. But yeah, together with Twisting Blades, I would say Rain of Arrows and Deathtrap Rogue, with the Overpower version of it, will be the strongest rogue builds in the next season. But now I also want to show you a third rogue build. or at least give you some ideas of what I'm expecting from it. So we also have this new Assassin's Stride unique boots, and this will make your mobility skills always shadow imbued. And the idea here is that we just play with Shadow Step. We spam Shadow Step, we just Shadow Step our way through the entire map, and we kill everything on the way with this unique boots here, which transform our Shadow Step into the trigger for Shadow Imbuement. And Shadow Imbuement will now also explode, or has like a chance to instantly explode or trigger a free Shadow Imbuement explosion. And so this will turn Shadow Imbuement into a complete new skill, you could say, because now you do not only use Shadow Imbuement for like AoE damage after killing some enemies, especially trash mobs, but now you can also use this versus bosses and versus like tough monsters, versus elites, because you can now trigger this Shadow Imbuement explosions. So in this build we will focus on a lot of lucky chance, and we will try to trigger as many explosions as possible. And I believe, I also made some calculations here, that this build should be more or less at the same power level as something like Dance of Knifestroke. And I also believe that this build will be the strongest competitor or contender for a very good speedrunning build. So like I mentioned, you can maybe, I don't know, speedrun Nightmare Dungeons, or like the new content that we got in the DLC, I forgot the name, where you can target fun runes, for example, or materials for masterworking. So I believe this build will be very good for speedrunning content, not for pit pushing, but for this low tier content, let's say. And will be a lot of fun, just because with this new boots here, Assassin's Stride, that I have shown you here. So yeah, very nice and fun build, I believe. Not as strong, not nearly as strong as the other 2 or 3 builds, but yeah, very good for speed running, and it's a new archetype. I think it's a lot of fun to play some new rogue builds. So yeah, I think these are the 3 rogue builds that I'm most excited for the next season. Like I mentioned, I will make a separate video for my Twisting Blades rogue, since this will be my league starter, my season starter. So yeah, guys, check out my Mobility planners, as mentioned, if you want more details on the builds, and just, yeah, visit my channel. There will be a lot of new stuff coming in the next week. So I'm pausing PoE 2 for now, and I'm back with some D4 content. So yeah, as usual, like this video, leave me a subscription if you want to support me in this channel, would be really nice for me. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next one. Until there, have a nice day, and bye bye.